Hey there, everyone out there in Facebook land and YouTube land. This is Dawn Del Vecchio coming to you live at the moment on April 3rd from Sedona, Arizona. And today's talk is sleep troubles. Here's what you need to know and how to handle getting the rest you need. So before I begin, I wanted to extend the request to please like and share this video if you find value in it. This message is delivered to those people who already know me and follow me, but it's also, I put it out there because I'm guided to do that in order to reach the people who need it. Hey, Danny, hi. I saw your message. I'm going to respond to you after this. Hi there, Hilda. Welcome. Okay, so again, if you find value in what I do and you're here on Facebook, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Danny. Share this with your friends privately or on your page. If you're on YouTube watching this, please, if you find value, subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell so you get notified when new stuff comes up. Thanks for the thumbs up, everyone. Okay, so today's talk, sleep troubles. Here's what you need to know and how to handle getting the rest you need. So what I want to share with you, I actually wrote down a list here because this is so important that for some people right now that I wanted to be sure that I covered all the bases. So I have my notes here. So I'm going to talk about what you need to know about why this might be happening for you because you're not alone if it is. Also, how I want to share with you some of the ways that I have found to deal with it, and some recommendations of how you can deal with it in a way that makes sense. Okay, so my inspiration for this is I've had a few conversations with good friends recently who are really having trouble sleeping. And this has been a journey for me for many years, and I've tried all kinds of things to deal with it. And the particular catalyst was one friend that I had a couple of conversations with about this, who's still wrangling with this issue, trying to find natural solutions to being able to stay asleep, and nothing's working. And so I want to start by talking about what's going on here? Why is this happening? So as many of you have heard me talk about before, we are here on planet Earth, we are undergoing a great awakening. And we could see that on the consciousness level. I mean, you could just go to a bookstore and look at the kinds of books that are out now versus 15, 20, 30 years ago. That's one way to look at it. We also know that the Schumann resonance, Mother Earth's heartbeat, is increasing. We also know that we're getting a lot of solar flare activity. We also know that our solar system is literally moving through an area of the galaxy that is of higher frequency. It's a photon belt. What are photons? Photons are light particles. And this is not woo-woo, this is fact. So what's happening is we are all being bathed in, swimming in, immersed in higher frequency energies. And so what that means is that it's going to impact us in our body-mind vehicles, as well as our spirits. So on the spiritual level, people are waking up. And if you're listening to my channel, you're one of those people who's already been on the spiritual path. And you're being upgraded as the rest of us are. And but the body-mind vehicle is also getting affected by these energies. And one of the ways that shows up, not for everybody, my husband sleeps like a rock, God bless him, but for some of us, we don't sleep a lot anymore. And I want to talk a little bit about this whole idea of sleep and required sleep and what is needed. Now, caveat, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical profession. I am speaking from my inner guidance here. So I invite you to take anything I offer here and really use your own wisdom, discernment, and inner guidance to know if this is true for you. So with that caveat, with that frame up, what I want to say is, how much sleep do we actually need? Who says we need 8 hours of sleep? Maybe some people do. Maybe some people need more than that. And certainly in the Ayurvedic system of body types, the kapha energy tends to need more sleep, whereas the vata energy doesn't often need as much sleep. But there's this myth that we all need X amount of sleep. And so one of the things that I've been experiencing in conversations with a variety of people about this whole waking up in the middle of the night or not being able to sleep is a level of anxiousness or concern about, I've got to meet my sleep requirements. And I really want to call BS on this. I really instead want to invite each of us to have a look at what our individual energy needs are. So let me take this back to myself. For years, I've had challenges with sleep, and I am going to share with you some of my strategies and what I've learned about this in terms of my guides wanting to speak with me about it, speak with me at nights. But before I get to that, here's what I finally came to realize. After 6 hours of sleep, I was fine the next day. After weeks of 6 hours of sleep, I was mostly fine. And so I really want to invite each of you to question prescriptive assumptions about what the right amount of sleep is for you, first of all. Because one of the things that we do is if we go to bed, or let's say for me, my pattern is I go to sleep fine, I'm sleepy early, and then I wake up. I wake up to pee and I can't go back to sleep. That's my pattern. And what I used to do was have all this anxiousness around that. Oh my God, I'm not falling asleep. I'm not falling asleep. I'm not falling asleep. I'm not going to have enough energy to do what I need to do tomorrow and blah, blah, blah. And then I started to realize that totally wasn't true. Not only was I keeping myself in an unpleasant, unresourced state of consciousness in those waking hours, it was based on a myth. It was based on a false assumption about what my energy needs were and my sleep needs were. So that's the first thing that I feel is important to share here, is to really invite you to look at what is true for you in terms of sleep needs. Instead of wringing your hands going, oh my God, I need more sleep. Do you? Do you? Just check in about that. Maybe it's true you do. Okay, so that leads to the next thing. If you are watching this, there's a darn good chance you've been on a spiritual path for a while, and it's not just that you're on a spiritual path, you are actually being called to some role of leadership in your life, whether that is in your community, in your family, in your career. There's some way where the spiritual knowings that are arising for you and the unfoldment spiritually for you are necessary so that you could step into service in some way. And because of that, and I really want you to hear this, because of that, your guides need to connect with you. Your guides need to connect with you. And if you are spending your days extremely busy or stressed or spinning a lot of plates, doing a lot of stuff, a lot of us do a lot of stuff, or distracting yourself, then one of the only times your guides can get to you is in the middle of the night when everything's quiet. And once I really got this, so for me, the process came from doing my forgiveness work, from doing deep shadow work and releasing a lot of old fear-based programming, a lot of old judgments, hates toward myself and others, judgmental beliefs, resentments, etc. As I cleared that out, I created more of an open channel to be able to receive direct clear channel guidance from my guides. And that was when, thanks for the thumbs up, that was when I really started to understand, to hear, to feel that I was basically getting kicked out of bed. I was getting kicked out of bed to get up, to go to my altar, my working altar in my living room, to light my candles if they weren't already lit, and to go into meditation and to commune with my spiritual guidance. So my evenings, friends, when I don't sleep, or my late nights, let's say, the wee hours, are dedicated to, most nights, not all nights, are dedicated to my communion with my guidance team. That's when I meditate. Thanks for all the love. That's when I meditate. That's when I do my Course in Miracles work. That's when I do my forgiveness work. That's when I do my breath work. That's when I do my prayers, my journaling, my automatic writing. Sometimes I put on audio and I'm channeling at that point. That's when I mostly do it. So I want to invite you to really reflect on what's going on with you in terms of sleep or lack thereof. And I want to invite you to surrender to it, whatever it is, rather than putting an overlay of a prescriptive measure or false belief about what you need, because it might not be what you need. The truth is, what we all need right now on this planet is access to our higher guidance, to our divine team that is walking us through this interesting transition on planet Earth. And the more time we give to that, the more energy we have, the more resourced we are emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So with that, now I want to give you practical. It's good to have practical too. Okay, so I think I'm going to start just by sharing what happens for me, in case that resonates with any of you. And then I'll connect with my guides to see what other practical stuff is available for you here. So for me, here's how it looks. I fall asleep in the early evening, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9:30, and I sleep typically for 4 hours. And then my bladder is full and I have to use the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom and then I go back to bed, and I know within 5 minutes if my consciousness is starting to wake up or if I'm still in that state where I drift back to sleep. Many nights, I would say 50% or 60 to 70% of the time, I'm awake. And so what I do is I get up, and I already told you what I do. I get up and I go to my altar. Sometimes I make a cup of decaf. That's my comfort. I love coffee. I would drink coffee if it was decaf anyway, because the taste to me is one of the yummy things. But that's my bad habit. Okay, so maybe I'll have to end that one day. Right now, that's what I do most nights. I have a cup of decaf. I do my prayers, meditation, journaling, etc., as I've shared. In about 2 hours, I'm ready for sleep again. I go back to sleep and I sleep another 3 hours. So in total, I've had 7 hours. So my timing is 4 asleep, 2 awake, 3 asleep. And it works for me. And you know what? In the middle of the night when I get up, I also prepare my herbal tea infusion for the day. So that's done. I prepare the ingredients for our vegetable shake that we have, our vegetable and fruit shake we have in the morning. So I mix the powders and I do some of that. So I actually, when I wake up a little later in the morning, I'm quite ready to hit the ground running or to have a proper cup of coffee with my husband and share the morning or whatever needs to happen. So that's what works for me. Now, I want to just connect in. Actually, I want to have a cup of that herbal infused tea that I made at 2 a.m. this morning. And just notice if there's any other practical tools. You dear ones are, yes indeed, as this channel has shared with you, you are being tapped on the shoulders by your guides, by those team members who agreed to assist you from beyond the veil. And so we would recommend, advise, encourage, and support you in listening to that call for those still quiet hours in the wee of the night are magical indeed. It is a time when your mind generally can be more still if you give yourself permission to connect in rather than fight against an urge to be awake. It is a time of great silence, often in your homes, in your places where you live and sleep and rest. And so we would invite you to indeed rise and connect with your guidance. Have a journal by your side. Do some writing. So if in the middle of the night, this is your pattern where you wake up, as this one does, as this channel does, then use it to your advantage. Use it as a way to progress spiritually, to release, to surrender that which no longer serves you, to access your higher guidance. And if you find that your challenge comes By only sleeping 6 or 7 hours and then waking, you can follow the same pattern, rising early, enjoying the day, just as the monks of the Buddhist tradition often do. They rise at 4 a.m. for their chants and their mantras to attune their day to a spiritual resonance. And so too, you may do this. And if it is that in the evening time you simply cannot fall asleep, that you are awake and awake and awake, and it becomes the middle of the night and later and you're still awake, then again, dear ones, we encourage you to drop yourself into a state of sacred space, meditation, prayer, journaling. Create an altar, a special place that you go to that is your private sanctuary of stillness, and do your spiritual practices, whatever they may be. Allow your nervous system to calm down. Make yourself a cup of non-stimulating tea, something herbal, something gentle, so that you are bringing your nerve fibers calming, soothing, bringing your energies down. In addition, there are some very practical things you can know to do. Your telephone screens and your computer screens, the frequency they emit, as well as your TV screens, are stimulating and not conducive to the brain's ability to create the chemical components that allow for sleep. So being very aware of removing yourself from the internet frequencies, from the Wi-Fi frequencies, will serve you well. Turning off your Wi-Fi, turning it off completely, turning off your phone 2 hours before you intend to go to sleep will help you immensely. Earthing, getting your body to touch the earth, your bare feet on the earth, your bare skin on trees, in water, any way at all that you can touch your physical body to nature for 10 minutes or more each day will also assist your nervous system in calming down and acclimating to the frequencies which are increasing on your planet. So this is also a way to facilitate and assist yourself in aligning with the frequencies, calming your nervous system, and preparing and permitting your body to get the rest that is what you need, however much rest that is. There are finally also natural supplements. So if you find you go many, many days in a row where you're just simply not getting sleep enough, where you feel it's taking a toll, there are numerous natural supplements you can turn to assist your mind in relaxing without altering your consciousness or turning to prescription drugs that cause side effects and long-term damage to the nervous system and other body parts. So again, we encourage you to use the extra time in the day that you find in the night when you are not sleeping to your best advantage for your own personal and spiritual growth. For as you do this, you will find that you can accelerate greatly and on many levels. And instead, if you should choose to resist, you will add to an energy in your body-mind vehicle and your emotional being that is the energy of resistance, which fosters fatigue and aging and limits your capacity to access your own higher guidance. And so we invite you to surrender into this, dear ones. We invite you to open and allow us, your guides, to speak to you in the night, to guide you, to gently join you on your journey to awakening and to increasing your own frequency at this very significant time on planet Earth. We thank you and offer you much love. Okay, my dears, thank you for listening. Again, if you found value in this, please like, share. If you know someone who's struggling with sleep, who is open to this kind of a spiritual message, by all means, share this with them. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe if you resonate with the message. And sending you all much love and bright blessings, and a hope and a prayer that you can find the incredible magic of being awake in the night and communing with your guides. Because it's really, I'm loving it. Personally, I'm loving it a lot more than I was when I was resisting it. Okay, adios and much love for now. Until soon. Bye-bye.